Now then, before we wrap this up, let me remind you of something of the surrounding context very quickly. This is chapter 10. In chapter 9, beginning at verse 44, we read this. Listen carefully to what I am about to tell you. The Son of Man is going to be delivered into the hands of men. That is, he's talking about his impending death in Jerusalem. But they did not understand what this meant. It was hidden from them. Even the disciples of Jesus had initially no category for a crucified Messiah. They thought that with the coming of the kingdom, there would be a big bang and everything would be fine. They had no category for a crucified Messiah. They did not understand the Old Testament passages that put together the expectation of the coming kingdom with a David king who would be a suffering servant and broken and bleeding and wounded for our transgressions. They did not have their Old Testament put together that way. So Jesus starts to speak of his impending death. They don't have a category for it. Verse 51, as the time approached for him to be taken up to heaven, that is by means of the cross, Jesus resolutely set out for Jerusalem. In Luke's topical ordering of things, this is the beginning of what is sometimes called Luke's travel narrative. From here on, all the way to chapter 19, Jesus is heading to Jerusalem, where he's going to be crucified. He's going to be betrayed. He's going to be crucified. He will be tortured, eventually die on the cross, buried, and then on the third day rise again. So this is the beginning of the road to the cross. This is why some people have said the Gospels are really passion narratives with long introductions. You're only in chapter 9, barely a third of the way into the book, and already Jesus is heading for Jerusalem. And what that means from the point of view of reading Luke's Gospel well, you have to realize that everything that takes place now in the Gospel after Luke 9:51 is on the way to Jerusalem and the cross. It's on the way to Jerusalem and the cross. Everything that takes place now is on the way to Jerusalem and the cross. And the kingdom is not going to come right now with a big bang. It's going to come by means of Jesus' death and resurrection. It's going to come slowly and transformingly. It's coming, but not quite the way you think. It's on the way to the cross. So in chapter 10, Jesus sends out the 72 as a kind of trainee exercise. He gives them power to perform some miracles, and he preaches the kingdom of God. And then when they come back, verse 17, delighted that they have so much power. Lord, even the demons submit to us in your name. He replied, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you. However, do not rejoice that the spirits submit to you, but rejoice that your names are written in heaven. In other words, they are still thinking of kingdom values in terms of power, and they want it. And Jesus says, that's not what you should be happy about.